3 of retirement. And they lied. One of the promises, you could sleep in for as long as you want every day. I obviously hadn't met a joke. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come down. Thanks for the kind words, Jill, and to all of you for your kind wishes and thoughts. And thank you for allowing me to be a very proud member of Team Cornwall. My thrill today to come with my colleagues and to spend a little time in allowing you to ask and get some insight into how we go about doing stories, why we want to do the story, and why you want us to do it. But I have to tell you that, you know, when people say you've been very kind to Cornwall, we haven't been kind to Cornwall. What we have done, as his worship says, is we have tried to tell the story truthfully about Cornwall. You know, none of you wanted to sit by the mayor. I did. I don't know any other mayor whose council is about to drop taxes by 4% later this afternoon. I think you need to tell that story to all of the other municipalities in the area. You know, I think you should let everybody know that because we were coming this morning, it was announced last night at about 11:30 with that thunderstorm we had, all that lightning and thunder. That was to tell the world we were rolling in this morning at this ungodly hour. And for me, that dates back to 1971, when on the roller coaster that you've all lived, Cornwall had the highest unemployment in Canada, 25%. And that was the story that was done by the Globe and Mail and by the Toronto Star and by the Canadian Press. And when I came down to do the story for CTV National News, the story I was presented with was, don't go repeating that we've got the highest unemployment in Canada. Why don't you tell your viewers what it is we're doing to meet that challenge? Take a look at all of the things that we have in place. We're not sitting here feeling sorry for ourselves. We are willing to take on whatever challenge, and this community is capable of doing it. And from that day forward, I see the kind of thing that's led to this organization, which I think is absolutely spectacular for a community, to boast hundreds of ambassadors and promoters and economic development specialists who are canvassing the world to tell the world about Cornwall. And that, I believe, is the story we wanted to share. And of course, you have to report all of the things that go into the life of a community. But telling about the people and the spirit of the people and the optimism of people, that's a part of our job too. Media, by its very nature, is often negative, but it doesn't have to be always negative. And when you present your story in a positive way and you tell us, this is how we're rebuilding, this is how we're going to create the city that people will want to come to. And you know, I was invited down last year to meet a group of seniors, all of whom have moved here. And they discovered, through your salesmanship, that here was a city where they would find a retirement living, where they would find a creative environment, and there were retired deputy ministers and retired CEOs and people who had such a wealth of worldly knowledge that were now here as part of Team Cornwall in the building of Cornwall. And so that's been the kind of story we wanted to tell, and we're able to tell it because of how you told it, because you had a pride in your community. And when we came down and broadcasted live from the Balloon Festival, when we came down and broadcasted live from the hockey rink, when the reporting crews came down and did your stories, we shared it with our viewing audience. See, CTV Ottawa is the 4th largest television market in Canada. We cover all of Eastern Ontario, we cover Western Quebec, we go as far west as Cobourg, we go to the edge of Peterborough, but of course in this wired world, we're going out around the world as well. So we're able to tell your story, and we're proud to do it. But we're showcasing your pride. And so the thanks really shouldn't be to us, but to each and every one of you and your neighbors and your organizations and your communities, because you want to showcase success. You want to showcase a community that cares about each other. You want to be held up by others as an example of here's how you can go about and tackle challenges. If they're economic challenges, if they're social challenges, we are prepared to deal with them. We're not going to run and hide. And so it's my real thrill this morning to have with me the anchors of the 6 o'clock news on CTV, CJOH. You know, we go back all the way to CJSS and CJOH right at the beginning. So we've always been partners. But you know, familiar face for the last 21 years, she's actually kept me in check for most of those 21 years. She can't stop me now. I can have braids in my hair now, okay? Because this is 3 rounds for the senators. Note the colors. We're going to make it to 3 rounds to the playoffs. But she's a terrific journalist who comes from the Ottawa Valley, who's worked in local markets across the country and came and settled in Ottawa to be back home and has been next to me for the last 21 years. Caroline Meehan.